Hi, I am Christy Paul, and I have a strong passion in my heart to see people come to Christ. Join me as we raise up an army of powerful prayer warriors with the same passion to see Jesus Christ glorified and to bring this nation of ours back to God. Awesome times, beautiful people. You're watching Bring the Nation Back to God, a place where we share in the great insights from our guests. I am Christy Paul, and it's lovely to be here with you. On today's episode, we'll be speaking with Director of the Africa Mission Camps for Metro World Child, and she is Janine Stellatos. Metro World Child is a faith-based humanitarian organization committed to serving the underprivileged children of the world. And I had the opportunity to speak with Dr. Bill Wilson, and he was telling me some incredible things of what this organization has brought to the communities around the world. Now, we are graced to have with us the director of the Africa Mission Camps. It is such a pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, brilliant. And obviously you're here in the UK, and you've been doing some speaking engagements. How has that been going?
It's been going good.
Good,
yeah,
yes.
It's been going really well.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So let's start off. I'm interested in finding out and also sharing with our guests, at the tender age of 5, you told your mom that you wanted to become a missionary. That's not something that every 5-year-old would say to their mother or their parent. Do you think that was based on the environment, and from then you now actually doing the work? So tell us from that thought up till when you decided, okay, I'm actually gonna become this missionary.
I told my mom at the age of 5, one day I'll be a missionary to Africa. I was privileged to be born into a Christian home,
Okay.
and we would go to church 3 times on a Sunday,
Okay.
and through the week. And for me, I really understood what Jesus had done for me on the cross of Calvary. I remember crying because they wouldn't let me take communion because they thought I was too young to understand it. I was very conscious of knowing that there was a call of God on my life, even at that young age. And I used to write to a missionary who was also from Manchester, and she went to Zambia. She started an orphanage, and she took in 600 babies over her lifetime. And she would write back and forth to me. I lost touch with her when I was around 9 years of age because we moved. But I got the privilege of going there just last year to the orphanage. She had died, but the very first 2 babies she ever took in were running the orphanage. One of them had passed on, but there is one there today that still is running the orphanage. Wow. So things like that inspired me as a child. She used to send me pictures of the black babies and the children. And so that really inspired me. And I just felt this incredible call of God on my life, even from a young age.
Oh, brilliant. And in 2012 was the year you decided, I'm going to just leave everything behind. Tell us all about this.
Yeah, I used to work for the civil service in the UK for 16 years, and I was leading worship in my local church. I was also going out speaking, and something had to give. I was trying to keep too many plates spinning. Mm-hmm. So I went by faith for a year, and I heard Pastor Bill speak in 1994 via a CD. Okay. And when I heard him speak, I just couldn't stop crying. God was doing something in my heart. I went over to see this work of 23,000 plus children in Sunday school in New York, and I came back, but my heart never did, and I knew that I'd found my purpose. I got involved, sponsored a child, started to go and visit the child, watch her grow up and invest in her life. And I just knew that I wanted to be part of this ministry. I didn't know how, but before long I was made the UK representative. I was that for 7 years. And then Pastor Bill said to me one day, I want you to go to Kenya for 2 months. And I went for 2 months. There was a team over there that were going into schools. 2 of them were street boys for 10 years, but they'd gone to a street crusade and they'd given their heart to Christ. And so when I found them, they were a bit like Pastor Bill. They were sleeping in a room at the church on the floor. And they were going into 12 schools. They had no resources. They were going in just using their legs and the Bible. They had no vehicles, they had no salary, they had no resources that we have today. But they were reaching 12,000 schools. 12,000. 12,000. No.
Yeah.
12,000 children.
Okay.
Sorry. I was asked to go over and grow it from 12 schools to 20 schools, set up the charity, set up the bank account, which I did, and I came back. And then Pastor Bill called me and he said, how was Africa? And I went to say something and I just burst into tears.
Wow.
And I said, I have to go back. He said, what do you mean you have to go back? And I said, Pastor Bill, you talk about what is it that you have to do, not what you want to do, not what you can do, not what you're qualified to do. What is it that you have to do that's burning in your bones? And I was at that point. I got to the point where I was so desperate to work full time for God, and my life was ticking away. I was 53 at the time. And I said to God one day, come on, hurry up, God. If you don't do it quick, I'm going to be too old. And so God opened the door and he said, I want you to go to Africa. And I was just overjoyed. In fact, when we sat around the table, he said, I might need you in the Philippines, I might need you in India, I might need you in New York. And there was a sachet of sugar on the table like you find in the cafes, and I picked it up instinctively, ripped off the top, poured it out from a height over the table, and I said, Pastor Bill, wherever you send me, I'll pour myself out. Even though my heart was in Africa, I had to get to the point where I lay it all down, even the desires that he didn't take away, because I asked him, I said, God, if this is not from you, take it away because it's too strong. And it just grew and grew and grew, and it got painful. And I said, God, if you don't take this away, I can't cope with it. Please open the door. And he opened the door. But I had to get to the point where I just lay it all down and say, God, not my will, but your will. And wherever you send me, I'll pour myself out. And God gave me the desires of my heart. And I didn't know what it meant to pour myself out. But over the years I've been there, yeah, I've learned what it means to pour myself out.
Brilliant. So you've grown a passion for Africa. Just by going there, I think you said two months, was it?
I went for 2 months, yeah.
And then you're there ever since then. Incredible. So take us through what a day in the life of Janine Stellatos looks like.
Stellatos, wow.
Stellatos, yes.
Okay. It varies. I start very early. The teams will come up and pick the vehicle from the compound where we operate from and where I also live. They will come as early as 6 to pick up the vehicles, to take the team out to the schools. They might be in a school at 7:30, do the first program, and then they'll do 4 schools in one day.
Wow.
So they might do one at 7 before the schools start. Then they might do one in the break time, one at lunchtime, and one at 3:10 in the afternoon. I don't go on the field every day, obviously, because I'm overseeing operations. We have an office staff. I have 53 staff altogether. We have an office staff who deal with all the child sponsorship, all the administrative stuff for that. So it's demanding. Pastor Bill always says you've got what it takes, but it'll take everything you've got.
Wow.
And it really does take everything you've got, and we give everything we have. I'm up early, very early, because it's easy to get so busy in ministry that you forget your walk with God, because you're doing but not being. And I never want to be one of those people that stands before God on that day and he says, go away, I never knew you. But I was doing this, I was working in Metro, I was doing this, I was in full-time ministry for you, God, and he says, go away, I never knew you. So I never, I make sure that I get up early, I spend time with God, put him first in my life. And then, now I oversee Africa as well, so it's extremely busy. We've just started in two new countries and hoping for a third very soon. We're also in other African nations that we've been operating in for quite some years. So it's a big, massive undertaking. We're reaching over 210,000 children in Kenya alone, and over 370,000 worldwide. So it's full time, very full time.
Yeah.
It's not 9 to 5.
Talk to us about the new countries that you've outreached into.
So recently, last month, we started in Zambia, and we reached 41,002 children the first week with one team of 4 people. So going into 20 schools. And then 2 weeks later after that, we started in Rwanda, and they're reaching over 29,000 children every week already. Again, with just one team of 4 people.
That is dedication.
It's really, the doors of Africa are really opening up to us, especially. And so we need to go through them at this time and reach a generation for Jesus Christ.
Brilliant. Awesome. And you guys are not only in Africa, you are worldwide. And we were talking, you are in the Caribbean, Jamaica, you are in
Philippines, India, Colombia, we're all over Peru, Romania, Europe,
Brilliant.
Indonesia.
Brilliant. Awesome. Talk to us about the food outreach. How is that going in Africa?
In Kenya, we're currently feeding over 7,000 children every day through our child sponsorship program.
Okay.
When a child gets sponsored, they get fed every day in school. And that is a huge thing for the family, because families don't work a month and then get a salary. They go out every day trying to seek work, maybe washing somebody's laundry for $1 or $2. So they struggle to really put something on the table, let alone school fees, let alone rent for the house and all those kind of things, really. So there is a real poverty there. There's people who are struggling. I've recently had to go to the burial of a 10-year-old child who hung herself. Then the week later, I had to go to another burial of a family, a girl called Lindsay and her sibling and her mom, who were beaten to death beyond recognition and then burnt alive. And all 3 of them fit into one body bag. So I'm faced with this overwhelming emotional stuff almost on a daily basis. Either someone's being evicted from their house because they can't pay rent, so they're just thrown on the street, or they've no food. I had one girl reported to me that hadn't eaten for 4 days. So it's a common occurrence that children are really struggling for food. Recently we had a young boy in one of our primary schools fell down a shaft 63 feet in the playing ground that they didn't even know was there. While they're rescuing him, they get him to the top, and the rescuer's talking to him all the time, and they can see the daylight and they're almost out, and then he loses his grip and the boy plunges to his death. And things like that just inspire you even more for the urgency, because this is not a cute Sunday school program that we do. This is a matter of life and death for us every single day. We do not know whether these children will be in Sunday school next week. We don't know whether they will have died from malaria or some preventive disease. And so it instills into you the urgency that we have to reach these children before either they're gone or Jesus comes back or whatever. There's an urgency to what we do.
Yeah. I can tell your passion and you literally putting your life on a line for this cause. Tell us, I'm sure there's been some struggles and, negative impacts. What what has this, answer to the call caused you?
When I hear that question, really, and when I look back over the struggles and over the things I've gone through, it's nothing compared to what some people are paying the price. Yeah, I've had malaria 3 times. Yeah, I've had typhoid 5 times. I've been, once I was set on in the street, and they tried to rob me, put their hand inside my pocket and ran off, and I ran after them in Jesus' name, and I grabbed hold of them by their collar and pulled them down to the floor.
Wow.
I don't know where the
Strength came from.
but
Wow.
yeah, I've been through that. I've been through false accusations and lies and all kinds of stuff like that because of the success of our ministry. But I look back and I think that's nothing to what the price was paid just this last week in Gaza, when one of our guys working there was literally almost beheaded.
Wow.
His mother found him in the street dead, and he was one of our Sunday school teachers in the Gaza Strip, and cut right through to the spinal cord. So when we talk about paying a price, that is the ultimate price. When I look back, I think, God, you've been amazing. You brought me through, but the struggles pale in comparison to what some people literally pay the ultimate price. Yeah.
Wow. You talked about sponsorship in order to get food to the children.
Yeah.
Can you talk us through the process of how that can be done, just in case our viewers want to support?
You can go online, www.metroworldchild.org. You can choose your child online, or you can contact our UK office 01293 776 900. And you can contact Donna in our UK office, and she can hook you up with a sponsor child. We have sponsor children available from Philippines, from India, from Kenya, and she can ask you whether you want a boy or a girl, age, whatever, and she can send you a child. It's £23 a month commitment. And it really does make a huge difference in the lives of these children. Schools are reporting that because of our programme, attendance, performance, attitude is all improving. The exam results are going up. We're getting incredible feedback from the schools. And obviously when they're fed, it means that they can concentrate in school, that they don't fall asleep in class, they don't pass out. We've had a few children that have fainted, passed out in school, and they can't carry on. This really makes a huge difference in the lives of these children, and also for the families, because they know that at least if they don't make any money that day, they know that their child has eaten something that day. So it really does make a huge difference. Yeah.
Brilliant. And we have a clip we want to show. You've been in the schools interacting with the kids. That would be awesome to, have our guests have a look at that. But before we go, you were talking about all these heartbreaking situations. I want to find out, how do you even get the strength to, continue from these things?
When I've listened to Pastor Bill over the 30 years almost that I've been involved with this ministry, I've learnt a lot from him. And one of the statements that's really helped me is that your commitment, if you're going to succeed in ministry, your commitment has to be stronger than your emotions. And that has really helped me a lot, because doubts and fears and all kinds of emotional stuff will come up. And he also said that it's a fine line. You have to find that fine line, because if you're too much over the line this way, you become hard and you can't minister into that situation. If you're too much over this side of the line, you're a basket case and you're crying all the time, and so you can't help. You have to find that middle line. And when I first went, I was over the basket case line crying
all the time,
and I never want to get hardened to it. I want to have that compassion, that soft heart. I think you have a choice. When all the emotional stuff comes, you have a choice. You stay or go. and I've chosen to stay, and I've chosen to give my life to this. And people are so used to being let down by society, by people, by their families, that they need to know that we are going to be there. Come rain, come shine, come sickness, come health. We're going to be there for them, because that's what makes the difference. When they know that you're going to be there, you're in it for the long haul, that's what builds relationships. That's what gives you the credibility to speak into their lives and be heard. And so, yeah, I choose to stay. We all choose to stay in Metro World Child and give it everything we've got, and people can come and train with us. And
oh yeah, that's incredible. Before we go to the clip of you in the schools, you were explaining to me before we started that the Sunday school, you take it into the schools, and it's a very interactive program.
Yes.
Can you let us know what it looks like, the Sunday school?
Yes, 83% of what you remember goes in your eye gate. So our program is very interactive, it's very visual. We use puppets, we use drama, we use cartoon pictures. We take one strong Bible truth that particular week, and we have children in our programs that are Muslim, they're Catholics, they're all faiths, and so we build their character through biblical truths. We might be teaching them to honour their parents. We might be teaching them do not steal. We might be teaching them don't let your anger grow, let it go. And so we take one theme every week, and this is what we teach them. We start off with a countdown. So we count down from 10, 9, 8, 7. We do the rules because children need to know what their expectations are. And then we do songs, we do games, we do the four most important things. We teach them the four most important things in life, which is God loves me, I have sinned, Jesus died for me, I need to decide to live for God. So that if ever they move away, that's the gospel in 4 simple steps. And then we do the preaching session, which is around 15 minutes. We do Bible lesson, which will be a drama more often than not. And we do a life lesson, which is cartoon pictures, so that the children are engaged. And it's so much fun, and yet it's really getting the message across to them.
Yeah, brilliant. And you were saying that some of these children or some of the workers, they do grow up and they do have an impact, a positive impact in the community, which is really, really good.
One of my workers, Susan, she was a child sitting there listening, and now she's on my staff. And I currently have a volunteer that also grew up in the school program, and he's now volunteering with us. So that's super exciting to me.
Yeah, brilliant. Talking about volunteers, you have this program, internship program going on. Can you tell us?
It's our missions training academy, and people can come for 3 months to Kenya, come and train with us, come and run with us. You've got what it takes, but it will take everything you've got, as Pastor Bill says. We will work you hard, but you will be impacted. Your life will be changed. You'll never be the same again. I can assure you of that. You will get up early, you'll go into the schools. We'll do a full week of heavy training, and then you will be going out with the teams to the schools. You will be on stage teaching the children, and it will impact their lives, but more so it will impact your life as well. It's 3 months internship. The information is on our website, www.metroworldchild.org, and you can go to how can we get involved, and click on the intern, scroll down to Kenya or even the Philippines. You can go there, even New York. It's 4 months in New York, so we would be pleased to have you in Kenya.
Brilliant. Janine, looking forward, what are your aspirations for Metro World Child in Africa?
When I did the boot camp many, many years ago in New York, 2005, they asked us to draw a picture of what the future looked like. And all I could draw was heads. Big heads at the front of the picture, going down to little heads at the back, and it was just a huge crowd. I didn't even know then that I would ever come to Africa. But now I look at that and I see the crowds, and it actually moves me to tears, because that was what I drew, that was what I saw. And that's still what I see, that even though we're reaching thousands of children every week, there are still multitudes to be reached. There's still thousands of children to be reached. There's hundreds of other countries and nations that need this. We need to raise up a generation that know their God, and we have to have a louder voice, so that these children know their identity. They know why they were created, what they were born for, so that their lives are not confused. And so that is my vision, that we just continue. I think I'm going to live forever on this earth. You know, I'm 65 next month, but I still think I'm going to be doing this unless Jesus comes again or takes me. I'll still be doing this at 95, 105, because I don't want to retire. Retire and do what? You know, this is my life. This is what I eat, bleed, sleep, eat. You know, I love the Lord and I want to make him known. Yeah.
And I'm sure you having great impact, not only on the lives that you're reaching out to, but like those in your sphere. So that, you know, I love that you say that you want to take it all the way through, but when you're impacting it on the lives next around you, they're gonna, you know, reach out and do the same. So that is incredible.
The vision of Metro is to raise up pastors, leaders and teachers from the street, who in turn will raise up pastors, leaders and teachers from the street. So we duplicate ourselves. Right now I'm well aware, even though I say I think I'm going to live forever, I know I'm not. So I'm well aware of that, and I'm training up other people to do what I do. Because if you don't duplicate yourself, then what happens when you're gone? You know, so I want to leave a legacy. I want to leave a knowing that other people are running with the vision.
Oh, it was awesome speaking to you today.
Thank you so much.
I had a fantastic time, and I'm sure our viewers had a fantastic time. If you want to connect with Janine or Metro World Child, you can go on over to the website that's on your screen. We love you and see you soon.
How many times can we turn our heads and pretend we